How's it going, everyone? It's Adam, and I am here from my newly instated, implemented, whatever, home office that I just got put together over this past month. It was kind of something that just came into being, which is great because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with a home office, but at my office building, we changed locations. And when we did that, we got brand new desks, which meant I had to take my old one home. And here it is. Now I have an office and a studio and I feel good and I am back to making videos. I know it's been a couple months since I made my last market update video, and truth be told, the market has been a little dull. There really hasn't been a lot happening in our local market other than interest rates rising. I mean, every time I looked at the data, I'm like, it's the same story as last month. It's the same story as last month. But we just hit 6.7% with interest rates, and home prices are historically at the highest they've ever been. Bloomberg just published an article today talking about how we at a national level have seen the worst decline in home prices since 2009. And I want to talk about that and say, what does that really mean? And what does that mean for our market here? You know that I'm in the Midwest, I'm in Michigan, Metro Detroit, I live in Plymouth, and I work in all of the surrounding areas, Northville, Novi, Canton, Farmington. And so what does that mean for our market here? So when Bloomberg says the worst decline since 2009, what they're referring to is a 2% decrease since July in national home prices. Now, when you hear a number like that, first, you have to take it with a grain of salt because it is a national number and it's factoring in every city and every region in the country. So a lot of that 2% is because of the Western US. There is no doubt that LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Phoenix, a lot of these markets where the home prices have really been overinflated, they are starting to see a pullback, some as much as 10 to 11% right now, which is a huge drop. If you're in one of those markets, I'd love to hear about what's happening. But here in Metro Detroit, it's not the same story. So where they're seeing nationally a 2% decrease, here in our market, things are actually up 1% in that same time period. Now, there's a reason for that, right? One, the Midwest is still considered one of the most affordable areas in the country. Now, that's not to say that affordability isn't becoming a big issue, because with interest rates going up as much as they have, home prices being historically high, everybody's budgets are crunched across the country. But looking at what the average family in our market makes and what the cost of an average home is here, we're still not very far out of alignment. And so home prices are still acting like they're in a normal seller's market, which is a very, very gradual increase. Now, with that said, with my data and the national data, month-to-month sale price increases and decreases aren't really a very accurate representation of what's happening at a macro level. And that's because we live in a very seasonal market. So if you look at the data going back years, I know in my market, probably in yours if you're not in mine, you'll notice that median sale price tends to fall off in the summer and also in the winter. And that's usually because there's a decrease in activity, and when that happens, people tend to bargain a little bit more. Now, like I said, that does not mean that affordability isn't going to become an issue, and maybe not even become an issue soon in our market. Eventually, at this rate, there is going to be some kind of a pullback, but it's not happening right now. So what does that mean for you if you're a buyer or a seller? Well, if you're buying and you don't already have a house, I would look at what your current living situation is. Like if you are renting, I would look at what the cost of your rent is versus what the cost of a mortgage is. If you're going to be in an area for 5 or more years, I would look at it from the standpoint of a quote that I heard a long time ago that I love, which is that if you're living somewhere, you are going to be paying somebody's mortgage. It's just whether it's somebody else's or whether it's yours. Housing is unique in the sense that it's the only investment that is also the roof over your head. So unlike an IRA or a money market account or investing in a business, whatever it is, you have to live somewhere. And unless that is like a family member or a friend's house for free, you're going to be paying money to live wherever that is. Why not build up your own equity, even in the market that we're in, as long as you're going to be there a while, versus just throwing it away somewhere else? Now, if you're going to be somewhere 1 or 2 years, renting might be the right thing to do. That brings me to my sellers. Sellers, I'm gonna give you a bit more conservative advice. So if you are comfortable where you're at, maybe you've built up a little bit of equity, you have a good interest rate, you don't need to move, I might sit tight and see what the market's going to do in the next few years and see if it makes sense to make some kind of a move later on. But if you are somebody who really needs to move, let's say you are relocating, or you just had a baby and now you need another bedroom, or you are downsizing, maybe you're in a colonial and there's a lot of stairs and your knees are getting bad and you don't want to do all the stairs anymore, you need something on one floor. If you're in a situation like that, move. Still do it. There's never going to be a better time than yesterday to buy or sell a home. So knowing that the market right now still has historically high prices and there is still demand, even if it's not as high as it was 6 or 7 months ago, the market is still in your favor as a seller. I would make that move, take the new high interest rate, and be comfortable and happy wherever you are at. So that's it. If you are experiencing something different, let me know about it. I want to know what's happening. This is all just based off of my experience with my clients and the data that I'm reading about our local market. And you can't change the data, but maybe you've had a different experience. Let me know what's happening, but that's the market update for this month. I will see you guys next month. Bye.